point in time we will mix it up. We will mix it up. But that's the kind of conversations we should be having. I was trying to find a song that will suit the national team, but it's like I'm not gonna get that now. So this is the one I'm going with. Pray for me. This break. Next up will be Mustapha Raji, president of the Liberia Football Association.
Mama, please pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. The one that happened to me and I need you. The thing that happened to me and I need you. Mama, please pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. The care money, mama, and I need you. The thing that happened to me and I need you. No man, they want me to die, die. They want to see me in my casket before my time, and they want me to die. Mama, please. I want you to push for me, pray. There's something happy, you must push for me, pray. There's something happy, pray. There's something happy. Alhamdulillah, Allah. Bleaching my color to Salah. Alhamdulillah, Allah. Road to success is narrow, all kind of temptation, temptation. But the blessing you gave me, a growing yellow plantation, plantation. Nangara, nangara, lebo. Bleaching my color to Salah. Nangara, nangara, Israel. Bleaching my fire to pray for me. Pray for me, pray for me. To get money, mama, and I you. To make money, mama, and I you. Mama, please pray for me. Mama, yeah, mama. Yeah, mama.
Okay. Yeah, pray for me, pray for me. We are on the final lap of the OK conversation on today, and we are proud, we are privileged to have in studio Mustapha Raji. Mustapha Raji is the president of the Liberia Football Association. The beautiful game. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Julius. It's a pleasure to be here. And greetings out there to the listening public and our family in football.
You always have this smile on. I saw you for the first time. That was on last Friday. You just have this smile. It's always there.
Well, we have to be happy. And, I got energized by this song that I just heard. Nice one.
Okay.
Memories of my grandmom and my mom. So, sometimes when you're sad, you look up to your mom.
I know that every day some things in terms of the COVID-19 fight. Do you want to recount some of them?
Oh, well, we did some awareness, a program that was played on radio. It's still continuing. We also made donation to the Ministry of Health through our FIFA Forward Funds support program, and we reached out to some of the communities. What we are also planning now after the arrival of the COVID-19 Relief Fund, we again get involved with other larger members of the football family to see how we can identify with them due to those affected as a result of COVID-19.
Okay. So, I know there are some projects that we're going to start with those projects before we come to the overall other issues in football. Let us start, for example, with the practice pitch at the SKD. I understand you want to do some. It's practicing by the national team, or
no? It's going to service the community. We're going to play all of our games. The National League game is going to be scheduled there. We have today, we face with challenge where our subcommittees, grassroots football programs, find it difficult in to play. So within the Pinsville area, in addition to our National League, it is also important that we encourage the use by veterans, those who play football, and they'll have a better place to exercise. So the pitch is going to serve the Football Association
for the National League too.
Yes, for the National League. We're going to schedule
and that's going to be able to generate income, because if you have a 2,000 capacity mini stadium there, that could help generate some income.
Definitely, because we also look at the return of investment of these clubs. You have these clubs presidents that are investing from the pocket. So now is the time that they start to market the game and create more branding, so the fans no longer need to come to the ATS to watch the game. It's far more cheaper for them to walk over to the SKD participate. When we complete the technical center, we can host our players there for a longer period. We're going to save a lot of money and can direct that money into other areas where we can develop football. So the technical center is not just going to be for the national team use, but we're going to use it as a training center for referees, for match commissioners, grassroots teams, to host them from the rural, because when we started the Mutamu Cup, we hosted, so far we've started now to change the entire roof at the ATS, so there will be no longer issues where, the offices will be affected by the rains, because now we've changed almost everything. So before the end of this month, it will be completed, and we'll start to fix the restroom and improve it, because as per CAF club licensing requirements, there are specific developments we need to make on the stadium as well. So we'll be looking at the restrooms and other places we
will come to that. I think I have a document before me that talks about how you're supposed to develop the stadium, which is very important.
Yeah.
But other counties listening now may be thinking, okay, it's happening in Monserrato, in Carysburg, which is also a part of Monserrato. Is the FA doing other things, other developmental initiatives in other counties?
Yes, we've also approve a pitch to be developed in Grand Bassa County.
Okay.
So there's another turf that's going to be constructed in Grand Bassa County in October. We're moving forward to Bon County and Nima County, taking note of the funds we have. We do not have so much. I wish we had a lot of money where we could provide at least an artificial pitch in each county. It's going to help our football program, but with what we have, we're going to ensure that we use it in the right way, so that we can create more playing facilities for those that are involved in football, and to have better facilities to play.
Now, there are also motorbikes that I saw, a whole lot of motorbikes. What are they for?
Oh, okay. Over the period, we have the structure of the football associations, like you have the LFA, you have the sub-associations that operate in the various counties, and they run the national third division leagues. And then beneath the sub-associations, you have the subcommittees that runs the community leagues. Now, these people need to move around and to report to the headquarters. Without them moving around, having logistics, it makes it difficult in terms of development. Now, if we want to develop football, we need to activate, all sectors. So we thought that the best thing we could do first was to provide a motorcycle for each sub-association, so to enable them move around, identify new areas that we can also establish new subcommittees.
There are how many approximately subcommittees?
We have a sub-association will have today in the country 15 sub-associations representing the 15 counties. Okay. And beneath those sub-associations, we'll have subcommittees, and we'll have a total of 31 subcommittees spread around Liberia.
So is it those 31 that getting the motorcycles, or the 15?
No, the first stage is the 15, the sub-association, then we start to come down to the subcommittees. So the subcommittees report to the sub-association in each of the counties, and based on that, we start to review and see how we can extend, because the sub-association now, we need to expand. The kids in Beligli, for example, we do not have a subcommittee there in Nimba County. We need to expand to Nimba County. Lofa County only have a sub-association running its league in Vonjama. We want to spread to have a subcommittee in Zozo, because the kids in Zozo and the kids in Vonjama deserve the right to play, and they need to play in better facility and better structure league. So one country, for example, you have a sub-association just situated in Banga. We want to also go to Batala. We also want to go to Sanoye because it's going to enable us identify talented players because we have our players identification pathway that we as the Football Association want to follow. And in order to do that, we need to establish these committees in the various counties to help identify talented players, not just good players, but talented players that we can feed into the national team in the near future.
Okay, let's go to the SKD. That's the nation's premier playing area. But there is a problem. There is a communication from CAF that I've been able to lay my hands on that is urging you people, the government, you, all of you, I mean the whole African continent, to improve your pitches. And this was dated 26 July 2020. To improve your pitches to certain levels. One, the high quality of pitch, natural or artificial. The playing field must be absolutely smooth and level. It should be of natural grass or artificial turf in imperfect condition. With natural grass, it should have an efficient watering system for use in dry weather. In case of artificial turf, provide a FIFA field certificate which cannot be older than 2 years.
The SKD is owned by government, national government. The national team is owned by government. We manage the national team, and we forwarded communication to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I'm happy and proud to announce to Liberians out there that the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, came up after the FIFA Council deliberation about constructing a state-of-the-art stadium in each African country worth $20 million. Liberia is first in the line because we raised that issue with FIFA that we need that stadium. We need to be the first country to have the
that
stadium.
FIFA will build stadium.
A $20 million stadium is going to be constructed in each African country. We are pushing that Liberia should be the first country to have that stadium because if you look at the SKD today, it was built in the olden days. There are a lot of challenges. FIFA and CAF is asking for Media Tribune, asking for Tom Sell.
Let me just name everything for the public. This and number two, the floodlights of at least 1,200 looks in case of evening matches. 3, teams and officials benches. 4, individual seats in the stadium. That one is expensive. 5, international standard clean and decent dressing room. 6, sanitary facilities for spectators. 7, stadium safety and fire certificates issued by local authorities which cannot be older than 2 years. 8, first aid and treatment facilities for players, officials, and spectators. 9, stadium control room, VOC. 10, flag poles. 11, media facilities. 12, hotels for accommodation of teams and officials. 13, hospitals around the venue. Can you do this before next year?
Well, we've communicated to Minister Wilson, a former player, national team player, a president of a club, owner of a club, Mr. Andy Kwame, deputy minister. We hope that government can come in. Liberia national team will not play in Liberia because FIFA and CAF will sanction the Football Association, and we'll have to take our home games, out of Liberia. There were several countries that got banned. Their facilities got banned, and they can no longer play the international games, the home games. So we'll be looking up to the Ministry of Youth and Sports and its government responsibility to ensure that we develop these facilities because we need to replace the 20,000 plus seats around the field and put bucket seats. We need to develop the dressing rooms according to standards because, that's what is expected of the Football Association and government. The government own the facilities that we play on, the SKD, and they need to be developed. We are working with the Minister of Sports, and we're hoping that they can give due consideration to ensure that our national team play here and not to play out of Liberia.
Now, how much is this expected to cost? Because there's 13 different things you're supposed to achieve.
Well, looking at the pitch, the current situation of the pitch is a natural grass pitch, but not well maintained. We have a lot of weeds, so the most appropriate thing to do is to replace it with an artificial turf. That's going to be cheaper for us in terms of maintenance of the pitches. We're looking at pretty close to $800,000 to cover up and correct most of this.
People think artificial turf has some drawbacks.
Well, they've improved over the period. It's far better. Once you maintain it properly, you can utilize it. It's been tested by experts around the world, and it's far better to maintain compared to using the natural grass, where you have to spend a lot of money during the dry season.
And you know that one of our problems is maintenance.
Well, you have to put, if you want something to last, you have to maintain it properly. If we cannot do it, then we run into the same situation. So we believe the Ministry of Youth and Sports have a huge number of staff, dealer workers that can be able to maintain the facilities.
So it is obvious that it is the government supposed to provide the money?
Definitely, the government should develop the SKD. It's not the Football Association responsibility, because the SKD is owned by government, and it's government responsibility. National team is owned by government, it's government responsibility. And it's also government responsibility to create more facilities for kids to play in the playgrounds, playing facilities, playing pitches.
But the FA as well would not want to see the national team playing its home matches in countries far away.
Definitely, that's what we're appealing
so that
to
means
government.
you are pushing them in some meetings and some rooms to try and do something about it.
The best we can do is to appeal to government and make them to understand that there's an urgent need to resolve all of the issues. Otherwise, the stadium will be banned. ATS does not meet the standard.
It's not even close.
Yes, so SKD, we need to put all of the bucket seats. So we need to start the process. It's not that FIFA or CAF is just going to come down and ban Liberia, but they must see some progress. So we look at the around the field area, we need to put bucket seats. We can start with the bucket seat. The media tribune need to be improved. The dressing room need to be improved, because FIFA and CAF is looking at professional players, millionaires, coming to your country to come and play, and sometimes they get into the restroom. They feel that it's sometimes discouraging in terms of their performance on the field when they go into the dressing room and something like that. So they need more excitement, to be far more relaxed when they come to some of these facilities.
Okay, we'll watch how and you will carry out. Where are you getting the money from?
Oh, the projects are fully funded by FIFA. 100% funded by FIFA. Under the FIFA 4.2.0, each member association, like Liberia, is entitled to $2 million over a period of 4 years. So what we're doing is to utilize this fund in the best way possible to achieve a lot. So we started with 3 pitches. We also have a stadium light project. Tender is out. Very soon the team will be arriving in Liberia. They had a delay due to COVID. Now they'll be coming to Liberia to inspect the towers at ATS and see if it meets the requirement to install the stadium lights, so we can have night. Yes. We're looking at 1,000 lux lights that will be placed at the ATS, and then we also have the scoreboard project. There's going to be a scoreboard installed, new one, opposite the VIP stand, and it's going to be very interactive, where we can add advertisement for other companies and do replays as well at the stadium.
Okay. Yeah. So, is there some of this money that we heard supposed to? What is the money?
Transfer deduction? That's the major issue. But all of the money, around 85 to 90%, is going to be going to the clubs in the first division, second division, women's football, both divisions of the women's football, and then we have 300. We just did a validation, 365 community league teams spread around Liberia.
Wow.
We have 165 plus third division teams spread around Liberia as well. So the team there in Wapolu County is also entitled. The team in Montserrat is entitled. Likewise, the team in Riverside or Grand Crew County.
So that's just going to be like a little drop. Just
it's going to be based on the level of the teams, because it differs a bit in terms of the impact that the first division team had compared to a community team, because the first division team enter into contracts with the players, where you have the community teams. Most of the community team, around 99%, do not have contracts with the players. So it varies. But we're going to ensure that each and every sector is touched, including the referees.
Are you ready for the noise?
No matter what you do, no matter how you distribute the funds, people are going to complain.
Here's what I think: when this money shall have come and you send it out to the clubs, it has to go to the leadership. Some of these clubs may not.
No.
It may not trickle down to the players, and that's where the problem will come from.
Well, we're going to come up with specific regulations from the FA, and we're going to ensure that a portion of the money will definitely be directed to players, because as part of the regulation, if the club fails to provide funding to the players and do not give us supporting document, the club will be sanctioned. We're not going to joke with that, because FIFA emphasized in terms of how we can distribute the money, and the executive committee is going to ensure that the clubs will report appropriately in terms of how they apply the funding. Because
you are supposed to report back to FIFA on how the money is spent.
And our audit and compliance team is going to review, and if there's a sanction proposed or recommended by the audit and compliance committee, definitely the club will be sanctioned. It can be requested to refund, or we can deduct that money from subvention that is spending, or we sanction or relegate the team. But we're going to come with tough decisions, because we do not want anyone to take advantage of the players. Unfortunately, we cannot control some things, but we are not going to give any payments in cash to any individual. All of the payments are going to go from bank to bank, or checks issued in the name of the clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
The possibility of the $20 million stadium, has the government already thought about where they want to put it?
Well, it's the decision of the Football Association, because that is owned by the Football Association. FIFA.
So have you determined where?
Well, the executive committee is reviewing that. Once we have it finalized, we will make a public declaration.
A $20 million stadium could go Bon County, Grand Bassa, Nimba.
The executive committee will decide, and then we'll
you still want to have more in Montserrat?
Yeah.
People will be like, but we already have 2 here.
It's the decision of the executive committee, and we're going to ensure that the decision that will be taken will be the interest of all.
But what do you think? Because in a meeting you will come up with suggestions too.
Definitely.
What do you want to suggest?
At the moment, we cannot say anything now, because it's something that it's in the development stage. Once FIFA finalize everything, and we have selected to be the first country, maybe second, third country. We want to be the first, though.
We should be the first. We are the ones that produce the only world best.
Yes, we are pushing for that, and we've expressed and identified and indicated to FIFA they've seen the need that Liberia needs to be the first country, because we are in support of that decision of FIFA to provide a $20 million stadium in each member association in Africa, a stadium compared to the likes of the stadium in Spain.
I know FIFA doesn't love politicians coming in and meddling with football, but do you sometimes try to leverage the name of George Weah in some of these things? Because I know they usually invite him to some of their events.
It's a brand for us, and if we have to utilize it to get support, we have to use it. He has done so much for football. He has done so much for grassroots football development. He has done so much, not just in Liberia, but around the world. So a lot of people look up to him. So when we are pushing issues on the table, we have to use his image. We have to use him as a brand to attract, support for Liberia. And for sure, we believe that FIFA, considering now world best, African best, and to the president of Liberia, Liberia need to be definitely the first country to benefit from that.
Now, what are some other projects, some things you're thinking about to do? Because football is challenged in terms of developing the beautiful game from the grassroots level, even before coming to the Premier, the division and all of that. What are those things that you're thinking about? I see some innovation in you, but I want for the public to feel that innovation of how you think football can be developed.
Well, first, we're looking at our women's football strategy. We've stayed behind for a long time for women's football, and now we are ready. We want to make it the #1 priority sports for women in the country. All around Liberia, we want to engage women, we want to engage girls to play football. So our women's football program is going to touch each and every corner around the country. We've communicated to FIFA already. We're finalizing the strategy so we can send it out there. We start with women football festivals, convention, women's football in school. Our football in school program is another important part. Yes, we want to encourage girls to play football in school, but we also want to go now look at the structure of our school football program and restructure it. Today, we've created almost 11 zones in Mustapha County, huge number of schools. We will be planning how to develop that in terms of educating their coaches, free of charge. The LFA is going to do that to train and develop the coaches in the schools. Okay. We want to also develop the age control system, because when we start with our football in school program, all of those players that are in school going to enroll into the LFA Connect system. It's a digital system. Once you are enrolled in that system, you get a unique ID for life. Okay. You're no longer going to change your age because you want to go to Europe or reduce your age, because it's one big issue we've been facing. So today we'll be partnering, with working with the NRR to provide national identification cards for all of the players that will have to play in our leagues, and we're going to use that to enroll them in our LFA Connect system to help control and eliminate the age cheating at the level of the first division, second division, women's football, community league, and third division. So it's a process we've started. We've started with the first division, second division, women's football. We've collected the forms. We're going to process at our expense the national identification cards for all of the teams at the level of first, second division, and women's football. We are also looking at how we can work with the schools to push them in terms of getting the national identification cards for their players as well. It's definitely going to help us to grow, because now the school football program, we want to see far better competition. So we're trying to restructure it and make it better. If you look at our community league structure, it's not too good. We try to develop it. Central Monrovia, for example, has 24 teams. So you have the talented players. They just spread around. It's like you're putting a lump of sugar in a drum of water. You're not going to get the taste. So what we are also looking at is to develop a roadmap where we can
reduce the number of teams
so we can have better competition. Nukutam, for example, should not have 15 teams. Nukutam should have 8 teams. The community is not so big. Claratown, for example, Claratown should not have 19 teams.
Yeah, that's what I heard, that they have 19.
We should have 8 teams in Claratown, and if you have 8 teams, you're going to have better players. You're going to identify the talented players, and these players will now move from the level of the community league, grow up to the third division, move up to the second division, and then move towards the national team, where we can now start seeing better players. Our talent identification program, it's also going to commence soon, where we can start identifying talented players using some of our former players who are interested in working with the Football Association, because we want to develop their skill sets. They have the expertise as former players, and now we can build the capacity to be scouts that can help identify players not just in Mustapha County, but in Bapulu, for way there in Drazon, in Jakaken, Sester G City, for example, to go to Bakken and identify maybe that single talent that has been hidden, to bring him to Monrovia and come and play for other teams and develop. We do not want to deprive, and we want to make football available for all in Liberia.
What about training of coaches, referees, and bringing them up to speed with the digital world? I understand it is an issue.
Well, we're trying to add something new. In the past, we saw that we had coaches training, yes. But now we are using technology. You need match analysis tools to make use of. You have player performance tools that you need to do analysis in terms of the performance level of the players. So now, if you're not computer literate, if you do not understand how to use these tools, it makes it difficult. So what we're trying to introduce is to add computer literacy towards the in addition to the training that we provide for our referees, for our coaches, and even for our administrators. Today, we want to push them at a level like the likes of other countries around the world. So in order to do that, we need to introduce technology. Sad enough, some people got angry when we added computer literacy as a precondition to apply for the national team position. It's important because as a national team coach, you need some explanation, maybe through PowerPoint. You need to provide reports, and if you're not computer literate, it's going to be the problem. And it's now our responsibility, given that we have identified these issues, to help work with our coaches association, our referee association, to see how we can develop more referees and make them computer literate to help develop our football program.
This is the OK Conversation. We are hosting Mustapha Raji. Mustapha Raji is the president of the Liberia Football Association, and of course, we are discussing football. But I want to go to you, the public. I know there's a whole lot of interest. The football stakeholders, you want to put your concerns through. Now, in terms of, before I go to the lines, transparency, zero tolerance for corruption. We know there are usually these things around football. How are you ensuring, as the president and your administration, the entire FA, ensuring that corruption is not around your leadership?
Well, I'm very happy you asked that question, and to date we can state that the Football Association remains fully transparent. There's no corruption. Anyone can come if they want to audit the LFA at any point in time. We are ready. We've been open to not just our stakeholders, because funding that come to Liberia is not just for the clubs. It's not just for the knowledge of those who go to vote at Congress, because we represent, the interests and views and opinions of around 4 million people. So we make it our responsibility to announce to the general public how much money we receive, how we're going to utilize the funding, and that's the process we've been going through. We've eliminated a lot of cash payments to individuals because it lacked trace, and we're paying now directly to vendors. We're paying directly to the clubs and the club accounts. People
using the banking process.
Yes, people feel angry about it. Some felt angry from the beginning. Now they're trying to trust the process, because we want others out there to regain the confidence in the Football Association that they can do business with us. Today, I'm proud that companies out are willing to enter into sponsorship agreements with us, because we receive those money and apply it and give to the clubs, for example. Very soon, we'll be concluding signing a sponsorship agreement with Dogsbet. We started with them last year. They saw how transparent we behave with the process, how we distributed the fundings we receive, and we provided them a detailed report. So based on that, they've decided in a few days, just yesterday, to even extend towards 3 years. So the contract value now for Dogsbet, instead of 30,000, like we agreed a few days ago, is going to be around 100,000 RSS.
Wow, that's huge.
We have Aqualife that has been working with us. Orange Liberia also has been very, very supportive. They've agreed to extend the sponsorship agreement with us, because they've seen that, yes, we are directing the money for the use of football to the benefit of the clubs. And we will continue to do that, because the money for football, guarantee, is going to be used for football and not for us. And this executive committee has remained very, very supportive, very, very interested in ensuring that we direct most of the funding that we receive from football to football.
What is the relationship like with past presidents of the FA?
Relationship is fine. We are good friends. Unfortunately, we cannot discuss football matters with our former president, because he's suspended. Our other past president, Councillor Zeta Wesley, is currently the match commissioner coordinator for the Football Association. She has been doing very well, very, very, very supportive in developing and training new match commissioners. Honorable Snow, former president as well, has been doing supporting, providing some feedbacks, recommendations, and proposals how we can all develop the game. Dr. Fode Kroman from Fabric FN also, so they are all coming on board. Former Vice President Shaka Sharif, Samuel Julakon, they are all coming on board to see how we can, move Liberian football forward, because it is about Liberia. It's not about me. It's about developing football in Liberia for Liberia, so that tomorrow we can start seeing Liberia performance improving at the level of the international scene.
Okay, he's Mustapha Raji. Let's take some of your calls now. The numbers to call, the only 2 numbers. No, one more. The rest of the world is trying to go with VAR. Are we ever going to go with VAR?
When we have our stadium here, we're definitely going to have a VAR equipped. The $20 million stadium.
Yes. Okay. So if you are interested in VAR business, that's the answer right there. VAR come here, Jan. Okay, 0777-700-995, 0555-995, the numbers to call. Let's hear from you. What's your name?
Julius.
What's your name?
Thank you, Chi. This is Pascal Davis, the administrative manager of OSA FC. Let me say thanks to Honorable Raji. Julius, firstly, let me say thank you because you allow us to discuss range of issues, not just politics. I was reading something on yesterday.
My man, leader, your time going.
Yes. Julius. Even about say for 1-2 minutes, it's okay for me. Football just in Germany has employed a little over 2 million persons, just football in Germany. So, I want to say hats off to Raji, honor his leadership. We feel most relief, especially, like you said, the community lead. This is where we see ourselves. We've been lacking behind in terms of support. The structure has not been there. But thank you to all. We are under pressure to ensuring that all of our team is being organized. Today, I just submitted my article of incorporation. So it set the pace for all of us to ensure that we can develop football through Raji. I want to say to you, Mustapha Raji, thank you for your level of development you brought to football. We are ensuring that our league get better and development of all of us.
Thank you very much. Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? This is Ibrahim Dolly.
Yeah, Julius, how you doing?
Yes, let's hear you. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon to the president of the Liberian Football Association.
Good afternoon.
Well, first, I just want to say hats off, quite frankly. And we have been following your activities. We have been following some of the role you have been playing in making sure that we moved Liberian football to another level. And we also want to say thanks to you and your leadership for the negotiation with those banks to have their sponsorship from 30,000 to 100,000. I think this is laudable and this is a great initiative that you are working around to make sure that Liberian football move forward. Thank you so much for the role you have been playing so far.
Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Yes, what's your name?
My name is Stephen Terry, and I call this evening for district of Tech and run the job.
Go ahead.
I'm currently on traffic posting where there's the further construction of that postage, and let me say.
Which one? The Tusafi?
Yeah.
Tusafi slipped my mind to asking about it. Yeah. Go ahead.
And let me commend the president for his deliberation. This is one person that we can buy for as special of the LFA. There be a massive supplementation in the
Are you related to football?
Oh yeah, certainly. I once played in the top committee here at the Strategic Football.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a lover of football. And I'm also a fanatic of Mr. Mustapha Raji based on his fundamental work. He said that football is improving our country.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me say good afternoon to Mustapha Raji.
What's your name?
Well, this is Ben on the line. Well, Julius, I want to thank you so much. The show today has been so fascinating, like always. But like your intro, like you said, when you welcome the president, you said the beautiful game, and quite interesting. Yes, indeed, that's the beautiful game, not only in Liberia, but across the world. So I want to thank him. Well, in these kinds of difficult times when the game started moving very rapidly under his administration, like Pascal David said rightly. But again, like you said, all those who said, like former President Snow and other people should come around and see how we can be able to build the game and moving forward, because sport is a unifying game in Liberia and across the world. So we together and make sure, the beautiful game once more, like we saw President we are on the field and other people playing and make that girl proud in other nations across the world. We'll be so glad. So it's not one man thing, it's everybody thing. That all together. Sport is a unifying force. You have to support Mr. President, and we all should support the LFA.
Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, what's your name?
Yeah, this is Wilson Johnson calling from district number 15, looking at Center.
Go ahead.
Let me say good evening to the president of the LFA. Let me say this. This ethnical man brought transformation to the football, the football in Liberia. Because I was very much astonished when I visited the bathroom between Ghana field meeting and Liberia field meeting. All of those, time that I visited, I think
during the administration of other presidents. The bathroom, the odor sense from the bathroom was very much bad. But let me appreciate the current president. And my question is this: how many stadiums that 20 million will cover?
That one. That one. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. But you didn't have like a just for coming there. Talking about serious money stadium. You think the best stadium has more money? Okay, let's bring in 2 more calls and we'll go back to the president. And I also ask him, when is the league expected? Is it started already? Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius. This is Joseph Blake.
Okay, Mr. Blake, let's hear you. Long time.
Yes, it's been a while. And good evening, Mr. Raji. How are you?
Good evening, I'm okay.
My concern as to Mr. Raji is the issue of the team intrusion. We have seen it so many times and it's not happening. Many a times you go on the field and you see around PRC. I'm not trying to be discriminatory, right? But you see around PRC and you understand that these people, most of the people that you see there are people that will not be able to buy the ticket. What are you guys doing to protect the entrance? You buy your ticket to enter is a problem. I have been beaten on the foot of police officer more than twice. It's a problem. You go with legitimate ticket, and because people who don't have ticket will get in the line, the police just treat people indiscriminately. I think you need to address that issue.
It is part of the stadium development process. Yes, those are some of the things that FIFA were concerned about. Okay, there's one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Yes, what's your name?
My name is Nanika Hoffman. I'm going from Florida. Let me say good evening to the president.
Go ahead.
Let me say thank you for registering women football on the map. And secondly, my attention has been drawn to the scoreboard.
Okay, you want for them to do something about the scoreboard?
The scoreboard, yes.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's go back to him. And that's the reason, to be very honest, one of the reasons I have not seen any game live was my fear that I will go sit down and someone will waste something on me, or I'll go, I'll pay for see, I can't enter, I'll be suffering.
Well, that's the reason why FIFA is emphasizing on developing the stadium out at the level where you can identify troublemakers and remove them. Where you can put turn cell to control the crowds. And again, my apologies to fans that have been facing difficulties to access the stadium. But the Football Association is working with the government, and usually bring in the national police to help us control some of these things. And over the period, I believe it will develop. I mentioned, Nanika, that we will be putting a new scoreboard at the ATS that we can be able to do a lot of things, because the current position is not suitable. So the new scoreboard will be opposite the VIP stand at the ATS. To my brother in Tusafield, yes, it's going to be developed. And
that's Tusafield. What are you doing with the pitch?
We're going to be putting artificial turf there as well.
Artificial turf on Tusafield?
Yes, a mini stadium, and then we are putting stadium lights for night games, around 1,000 locks.
I already see the fence going up.
Yes, the fence is almost completed. Now the guys are focusing on the mini stadium because we want them to complete before the arrival of the turf in October. So we want to ensure that all is complete. To the brother in Logan Town.
Before you pass, that other news is very good for Tusafield. Tusafield will have an artificial turf.
Yes, with a stadium lights.
A mini stadium with stadium lights. Yes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's going to happen, and thanks to FIFA for the support, and also thanks to national government, because free privilege from government.
Okay.
One should not say, oh, government is doing nothing. Government is doing something, because if they are putting taxes on all of our imports, it's going to generate additional revenue for government. So whatsoever we're bringing into the country, we've gained waiver from government for all of our equipment, footballs, referees equipment, and everything that we bring into the country for football development. So the government has been very supportive. Minister Wilson has always been supportive, getting in touch with LRA to ensure that the guys provide us the waivers in time. For the community league, gone are the days that we will not provide them equipment from the FIFA equipment solidarity funding. Each of the 365 community league teams guaranteed to receive around 10 footballs each. as part of the community, the football development solidarity fund equipments that we're receiving from FIFA. Each of the third division teams as well, a minimum of 10 footballs they're going to receive from the Liberian Football Association. So we're talking about distributing around 8,400 footballs around the country to each and every community league team, first division team, women's football team, second division team. Now, we're not just going to stop there because of our football in school program. We have 1,000 footballs that we're also going to divide to the, distribute to the school system. We want to prepare to get ready for the league. Hopefully, if we can start, we're scheduled for October. So once we're given a green light by the health authorities, we'll resume football, but we want to start the preparation where our teams can start to receive all of this support from us. And we will continue. Like I said, the money for football is for football. Today, clubs at the level of the community league that never benefited such support will be benefiting the support. Our subcommittee and sub-association, gone are the days that were purchasing football on their own. The football association is going to provide it to them because it's our responsibility to ensure that we have organized competitions in each and every sub-association subcommittee. We've also introduced and now going through the process with our U15 and U17 non-promotional league to give other kids that do not have time but they are in school, they will play football, but during the weekends, let them have the opportunity to play football as well.
Mustapha Raji, thanks so kindly for availing yourself to our invitation to sit in the hot seat of the OK conversation. I guess it was really good for the public. The calls are still multiplying in, but we cannot continue. Thanks so kindly.
Thank you very much, Julius. It's a pleasure again to be here. We will be available at any point in time, and thanks to our friends out there, football family, Liberians are interested in developing football. We love them to be a bit patient with our football development program. We're getting there. And we're going to ensure that we invest more and push more for women's football. Thank you.
Okay, that's how we go home.